So welcome to RC Trail Habit. So this is going to be just a quick comparison between the FMS FCX18 and the TRX4M Bronco. So they are both 18 scale. By the way, this LC80 is the second generation, or the version 2. Basically, what I want to accomplish with this video is just to do a physical comparison and a little bit of technical comparison in between the two. The TRX4M being one of the more expensive ones. I believe I bought it for around 350 Australian dollar. And this one I got, it was on sale during the Black Friday. I got it for about half of that, 150 odd dollars, but I think they are retailing for 200, 250 AUD. So yeah. So first and foremost, I just want to dive first into the physical appearance of both of the trucks that we have here, or both of the crawler. These two are very different in terms of design. They are both, even though they're both hard bodies, there are certain differences that you can actually tell. First thing that I notice, or what I like about the FMS, is the paint job. So as you can see here, the paint job is really sort of metallic, glossy kind of paint. So the way they achieve that is very phenomenal. You can, if you look closely, I don't know if you can see it from here. So you can actually see the metallic specs, right? Or the metallic features in there. You can see it glimmering, and yeah, it's very awesome. Not that the TRX4M is bad, but it's just a plain black paint. There's no metallic features that I can see. There's no metallic flakes whatsoever. It's just a plain glossy black paint. But you know, it does look good. But as far as paint goes, I have to give it to FMS. As far as, you know, the overall design, I don't know. It feels as though the FMS is more scale-like. You know, it's giving me that kind of vibe wherein when you put it close to the TRX4M, the TRX4M is not that bad. But yeah, just bringing it closer, this just looks more scale compared to this one. It's not goofy in a way, but yeah, it's just this. When I had this initially, I actually liked the design, but bringing it closer to the FMS, it kind of looked a little bit more of a toy rather than a scale model. But it's not bad. I know I sound like I'm knocking on the design. Maybe it's partially due to the interior, you know. Might land off with the interior, because as you can see, the interior of the FMS, it's got everything going on in there, right? So it's got a nice interior with a driver, with a steering wheel and all of that. But as you can see here with the Traxxas TRX4M, it's just an empty body. You can see right through it. You see the electronics. You can see the battery. You can see the motor in there. So yeah. So everything just looks more scale. If you look at the actual headlights as well, the TRX4M, it's got an LED headlight, if you can call it a headlight. The LED light is actually integrated into the bumper, or the lower half bull bar, if I may. I think, yeah, it's a non-loop bull bar. Yeah, the LED is just integrated into that. That is not really scale, so it kind of like one of the you know, the negatives. Although the design, they could have easily integrated that into the headlights. I don't know why they didn't do that. Maybe some cost savings, but the TRX4M is already expensive from the get-go, compared to the FCX18, where it's an actual headlight. So the LED is actually integrated into the headlights. Not only that, you also have a functioning spotlights or spotties or fog lamps or whatever you want to call it. And it's also got, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's also an integrated rear brake light. And this one doesn't actually have any. So the TRX4M only have 2 lights in front, and that's all she wrote. Yeah, so as far as detailing, the front end, I really like the full looped or hoops of the bull bar in there. The back side, you got a roof rack ladder, a usable spare wheel and spare tire. This one is just, you know, just plastic. You could probably go ahead and replace that, but it just shows, like, even though that the FMS is a lot cheaper, you know, they didn't skimp on the design, and just looking at the details on the hard bodies themselves, right? So both of them are hard bodies, which are, you know, actually great. But I mean, just look at this. Like, even the wipers, they are actually moving, or you can actually move them. They're not moving. You can actually move them, and the TRX4M is just stuck in there. You can move them a little bit, but that's just the tip of the plastic on the wiper. But this one has actually got a hinge that you can actually move, so you can actually position them to whatever your preference is. Roof rack, it's functional roof rack on the FMS, and this one is just a low profile roof rack. It's still functional. You can still put some stuff in there, although I haven't had any accessories that I can put in there, but you can make this work, or you can buy an aftermarket one to have a sort of like a basket like sort of tray in there. But this one you don't have to, because it's already there. You just put on your stuff, put on your camping gears, and then you're ready to go. Side mirrors, right? I don't know if you can see that, but the side mirrors on this TRX4M, it's a fake sticker, and on the FMS, it's actually an actual mirror. I don't know if you can see that, but it's an actual mirror inside. So yeah, on the design aspects, hands down, the FMS wins it by a mile. That's not to say that the design of the TRX4M is bad. It's just that the FMS LC80 is just heaps better. They just spent a lot of time really making this as scale as possible. So it's, yeah, if you're gonna spend your own money and you have to choose in between the two, if you're looking for scale, hands down, LC80 it is, no question about it. Just a few differences that I want to touch on as well. So let's dig a little bit more on to the technical aspects. So as I mentioned, they're both 18 scale, but there are some differences. Let me just pull out my spec sheets in here. So length-wise, they are almost similar, while the FCX18, it's about 282 millimeter, and the TRX Bronco is a little bit shorter, but not that much. It's about 262 millimeters, so just a small difference in there. But one thing that you will probably notice is the height difference in between the two. So the LC80 V2 is a tad bit taller compared to the TRX4M. So let me just pull the height measurements. So this one is about 136 millimeter, and this one is about 155. So thereabouts 19 millimeter difference in between the heights. The wheelbase, the overall wheelbase is about 160 millimeter and 155 millimeter. So overall, in terms of dimensions, the LC80 is bigger and wider than the TRX4M. Although there's a big difference here in terms of tires. So this may affect the traction on the trail. So let's just do a quick measurement. I have a caliper here. Just a rough estimate. Yeah. So the tires of the TRX4M is about 22.86 millimeter, and as you can see, the tires of the LC80 is skinnier at 17.66. So that could have an adverse effect, or not an adverse effect, but that will put the TRX4M theoretically, to have a lot better traction compared to the LC80, which is, that's which is really skinny. As far as height goes, they're about the same. Yeah, I think it's a 1-inch tire for both. They're basically identical in terms of height. What else? Technical specifications. So ground clearance, obviously, the FCX18 wins it hands down, due to the fact that it is, as you can see here, this is a portal axle. So the axle sits higher compared to the TRX4M, which is a straight axle, which sits obviously lower. So you'll have more ground clearance. So the ground clearance for the portal axle is about 35 millimeter and 29, which is not too bad. It's 29 for the TRX4M. And the approach and departure angle for this one is 61 degrees on the front for the approach, and 35 degrees departure angle, obviously, on the rear, compared to 54 degrees of the TRX4M and the departure angle of 48 degrees. So there's a bit of difference in there as far as, having different axles. The motor, so they're both, they're similar in terms of size of motor. It's about, what was that? It's a 180 size brush motor for both. Of course, big difference in the ESC. The ESC of the FCX18's got the lighting module, obviously, for the headlights, rear, and the the spotties here, the 4 spotlights at the top. One thing that that I'm not really keen about, and this is a very, very important point, right? So one thing that I haven't shown you is how do you access the batteries or the internals of both. For the TRX4M, it's fairly simple, right? It's fairly simple. There's a clip at the bottom. There's 2 clips, or they call it clipless design. You just pull it, and then off it goes, and everything's there. You got your motor. You have easy access to your battery, your ESC, and all of that. Servo is there. If you want to do some work, you can easily go and start working on it, or cleaning it, or whatever you want to do, tinkering or pondering, or thinking of your next mod. However, and putting it back is this is a very simple prospect as well. Make sure that I'm putting it in the right direction. So yeah, you just snap it on, and everything goes back to where it was at. It's not the same case with the FCX18. And I'm going to show you why. So typically how you access this is via popping the hood, okay, or the bonnet, wherever, or whatever you want to call it. So you can access your battery in there. You can easily just charge it without taking it off. The power button is actually also there, so you just turn it on. Let me just turn it off really quick. Yeah, so that's all fancy, yeah. Not a lot of RC crawlers have this kind of feature, at least for the ones that I know. This is very handy because if you're just looking to charge your battery and all that, turn it on and off, it's very easy. You just pop the bonnet, and that's it. However, if you want to work on this, which I'm not going to do right now, it's a very tedious process, right? In order for you to take off the whole chassis, you have to unscrew 2 very small screws at the bottom and another 2 screws at the back, which is not really straightforward. I tried removing it the other day and I almost lost 1 screw. So I'm not gonna do that today since I'm not gonna be working on it, and it's just really unbearable. And hear me out, and this is why, right? So you'll have to remove those 2 screws in there. And when I was trying to remove it, it wasn't coming off completely because of the screws and the bolts that is holding the ladder at the back. You might not see it from there, but you might have to remove at least 3 total screws in order for you to safely do it. And what I'm currently using was the Injora tool set right here, which is fine and all of that, but these are non-magnetic, and I would suggest that if you're going to be working on your LC80 that you get a proper magnetic tool set, because I almost lost, the screws are really, really tiny, and it kind of like got wedged somewhere, and I thought I lost it because my floor is carpeted, and it's really hard to see once, you know, things drop from there, especially the size of the small screw. So yeah, luckily I was able to shake it out of there and find that. But yeah, it was really an annoying and tedious process to actually have to remove multiple screws in order for you to access the chassis. So those are just, you know, some of my complaints about the FCX18 compared to the ease of removal from the TRX4M. Controller wise, so this is the massive, it's just comically massive controller or transmitter from Traxxas for such a small device. I think some of the Spectrum controller, I think that's the sweet spot. And just to make you laugh even more, so just the sheer difference in the transmitter or the radio controller. Like, can you just imagine how comically massive the controller for the TRX4M? Then you get your FMS controller, which is comically smaller. Although some differences, the TRX4M feels a bit more significant. So yeah, it feels much more solid. It doesn't have, you know, a lot of buttons. You only got the steering trim, your on and off switch at the back, and what's that, a set button, probably for your transmission stuff. But yeah, it feels a lot more premium. It feels, yeah, the steering control or the pads feels a lot more solid, whilst the FCX18 controller, although small, you can see like a bunch of controls in there. It's got, I believe it's got 4 channels. Yeah, it's got 4 channels. You got your steering trim, reverse, steering trim, or throttle trim, and then some of the reverse controls if you want to actually reverse them. I don't know why you would do that. I've never really swapped them, just the normal controls. The steering stuff in here, or the wheels, looks cheap, right? Compared to this one. It's all plastic. This plastic right here, it just feels so cheap, and the faux carbon fiber is just not really cutting it. It just looks like a really, you know, sort of like a Kmart inspired controller. Well, this one is much more proper, but I would say I'm not particularly a big fan of any of these controllers compared to the Spectrum ones. I think Spectrum is just about the right size. Let me check if I have it right here. Oh yeah, so this is the Spectrum controller. So this in particular is designed for an axial SCX24, and also I believe it's the same size for the SCX30. I believe this is just a sweet spot, as you can see, right? What would you like better? Would you prefer the TRX4M, which is massive, or the medium-sized Spectrum controller, or the comically, or you know, the miniature Smurf controller right here? But yeah, I would say I'd prefer the axial one, or the Spectrum ones, which is just right, you know? It's not that tedious. When you go out there, it's a small scale. You don't have to have a big, or you don't need a massive controller. And you don't have much controls anyway. There's not much channel in here. Because yeah, you don't have any lighting. Yeah, if you need more buttons, especially for this one, you need to control the lighting. And also this is, by the way, a 2-speed. So you got a high speed and a low speed. For this one, this is just a single speed for everything. So yeah, just want to call that out specifically. So let me just put this back. So that's basically it. So yeah, so if you're on the fence, what we choose, so it depends on your budget. Like yeah, so if you want like a, you know, a proven platform, then definitely go with the TRX4M. But if you want value for money and scale detail, best bang for the buck is FMS. Hands down, you can find these anywhere on sale. It's, you know, significantly cheaper than the TRX4M, arguably about half the price difference. You can source this out from AliExpress or Amazon, or through your local hobby shops. Yeah, it's just that this platform has more mods, I would say, that is available on the interwebs, although FMS is quickly catching up with their mods as well. Just looking at the bottom as well, before I wrap it up, I forgot to show you. So the FCX18 has got metal linkages, and this one are plastic. As far as, you know, suspension play, the FCX18 feels a bit more stiffer, while this one's is a little bit, you know, slower to rebound. But yeah, ultimately, you know, it is what it is. So they've got their own characteristics on the trail. I will probably do a head-to-head performance comparison video of the two. It's just that I could not get out right now. I'm living in Australia, and it's about 40 degrees outside, and the risk of getting caught in bushfire is real. So hence, you haven't seen any you know, outdoor videos lately. So we're just trying to be safe and trying to avoid any mishaps on the trail. So yeah, safety is the utmost important when you are doing any outdoor trailing. All right, I guess, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just wait for that performance video once the weather clears up, or once the weather subsides a little bit, and you know, and there's no risk of bushfire. I'd probably go ahead and do a head-to-head trail video of the two, just, you know, just for you to make up your mind which one out of the box. By the way, these are both unmodified. So yeah, if you want to see a head-to-head comparison on the trail and their capabilities and their shortcomings, and just stay tuned. I will get that one in for you as soon as I can, or just hit that notification bell and follow or subscribe. Leave me a comment, and I'll be seeing you on the trail.